Hi guys, this is Nikki Jacobs. Welcome to Restore Belief with Nikki. Today is February. I was going to say January. Today is February 1st. Yes, my phone telling me I'm live. This is good. Welcome, Christopher. How am I? I am not as exhausted as I was yesterday, and I gotta find a way to. They screwed with everything, and hopefully it's okay. But at the same time, I don't seem to have quite enough light on the face. And every time I do this, it seems to be way too bright. I burn out. So we're going to try this again. I'm still trying to get the lighting correct on this, guys. Anyway, welcome to who else showed up. First time I've been able to be up when I say I would. Good for you, Christopher. Okay. Hopefully that will. I'm still trying to get this set up, guys. I'm working hard at trying to figure out what's going to work for lighting. I have a daylight light bulb that I use, or a lamp that I use for my crochet. Anyway, welcome. Hi, guys. Oh, that is better. Well, it gives me a little bit of a Rembrandt lighting. That's okay. Anyhow, retired photographer. Anyhow, there's a bunch of different things that I wanted to talk about today. Hopefully I can get it done before our Keith Andrews goes live at 4:30 p.m., which is an hour and 15 minutes away. I should be able to. It depends on my energy levels. Anyhow, welcome. Grab a cuppa of whatever you wanna and sit down and have a chat with me. I'm still drinking my Propel and a new bottle of water, though it's in the same container, and a new thing of iced tea. So get your cuppa, whatever that is right now, and curl up on the couch or wherever you're watching this from. So I've been reminded, it's been a really, really, really long time since I've taught anybody. I have taught a number of people since the 1990s on various different things. I used to be called the Information Lady for very good reason, by a lot of different people, actually. And then the nickname just stuck for a long, long time. And then, so it ranged information on prices of groceries to schooling to kids to social services people and who to contact within the Seattle area for help if there were people that needed help, that kind of thing. I don't have any of those contacts anymore. I mean, this is 25, 30 years ago. So anyway, and over the course of time, I've taught a lot of different people, a lot of different things. Surprisingly enough, a number of teenagers how to budget. That is interesting. I used to make up these, create, not on Word, on Excel. I used to create these budget forms for them. My point, and see, that's the other thing, is my vitamins haven't hardly kicked in, so I'm very scattered. So, and that's part of dyslexia, is going around and around and around till you get to the subject matter. I have learned, even though I still do it, that I'm trying to stay on topic, especially after the last couple of days of extreme energy stuff. So my point is, information and teaching. When you're in the process of learning something new, you are going to have body reactions, emotional reactions, psychological reaction, all kinds of reactions. everything from the physical to emotional. And so I did come on yesterday for 14 and a half minutes or thereabouts to talk about that, to talk about taking care of yourself and how important it is when you're learning something new, especially if you're in the energy, if you're dealing with energy and you're dealing with how to do things. And old dog, new tricks is what keeps coming up to my mind. And that can happen for kids too. I mean, it's like they've been patterned at an early age to know and learn certain things, and yet it's retraining their brain. So the same thing can happen to us that are above age 40. And it can really make a difference if you're trying to learn something new, if you're above that age. I mean, it's take the time that you need to take. If you push, you're not going to take in the experience the way your body needs to. There are certain things that you need to slow down in, and it's very, very, very important. Yeah, it's important to learn, and some people, that's how they learn. They learn very, very fast. But others, you learn quickly, but it takes a lot more out of you and out of your body and out of your mind. Not out of your mind, but it takes a toll on the brain. And so it's really important to, and this is why I've got my bottle of Propel again, talking about electrolytes and water, and taking care of your body. Yes, I'm this size and people are going to give me shit for that. I don't take a flying leap, my attitude. I have very specific health requirements for my body, and it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. So I'm doing what I need to, and I've been learning about, I'm trying to figure out the right words. I've been learning about for years. I mean, like 22 to almost 30 years. I still learn that this is a big deal. Even though I know about energy, I've worked with other people in that time frame, and especially in the last 4 or 5 years. Well, 4 to 5 years. And every bit of energy you use takes a toll on the body. It takes a toll on the mind, and those are the consequences. Do not expect to be doing energy work of any kind, including psychic work, without having some kind of toll to the body. Our physical bodies can handle an awful lot, but we also have to pay attention to them. And the little nuances and the little innuendos, that is not the right, nuances is a better word, for all the things that you need to do to take care of yourself. Take notice. I mean, it can even happen with digestive issues. It can happen, all sorts of things can take place. This is a major effect. You're trying to go into a higher consciousness state. That's a heck of a process. And it takes its time, and Each person is very unique, very individualized, very different than the next person. I learn very quickly on some things, and on other things, I'm like dense as a freaking doornail. I was going to say doorknob. I mean, there are just some things that I don't get. And then there are other things that it's like click, 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 click. And I've been that way growing up. I was always very hands-on. And that's part of my dyslexia. I have no problem in talking about almost any subject. I was trying to think of if there was any subject. I don't think there is any subject I'm not willing to talk about. There are things that I'm not willing to talk about publicly. So if you want a conversation and I say, hit me up later, email me. If you know how to get a hold of me on Facebook, contact me there. I got a scammer right now who's doing this, boo hoo hoo hoo, you haven't talked to me. And I'm like, oh, effing please. Smack the crap out of people like that. Drives me nuts. And it's like, dude, you're a scammer. I mean, I don't even need the behaviorisms, the whole 9 yards. It's like, people expect to, and this is a societal thing, especially with internet and social media now. People think, oh, I'm just going to friend somebody and not talk to them. Well, scammers do the same thing, folks. Back in, well, I'm not going to say what years, but there was a time frame. There was a time frame of 3 years where a friend of mine and I, because we were both severely injured at the time, we would play the scammers, would play them right back. And so I got both, he and I got really good at figuring out behaviorisms and all of that kind of thing. And then as an energy, being able to pick up on energy, now it's like typically if somebody touches I can tell usually right away. Depends on what kind of, now here's something else you need to recognize if you're a newbie in this. Not only recognize behavior patterns, but recognize how people speak. That's a behavior pattern. You got to recognize those things. You got to become more aware. That's the thing. Okay, now I'm missing messages here because I'm talking, but that's kind of what along the lines of what I wanted to talk about today is not only just take care of your body, think about all the things that are going on in your life. And what is it that you're not noticing? That's a big deal. Are you really paying attention, or are you so go, go, go that you're oblivious to a bunch of things that are taking place? Really important details, things like that to be aware of. Okay, so hang on. Let me get up to this and see. Yes, Christopher is saying that is one thing I get upset with people on is prejudice due to disability and appearance. Oh yeah. As an advocate, as a retired advocate, when I was advocating full time, oh my God, the amount of things that I used to come across and witness, holy F balls. I mean, seriously, it's a big deal, really big deal. And then you'd have issues to where, even though the on the federal government books is the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, you'd have people in your own state, even though that's a federal law, you'd have people in your own state that would not freaking follow it and didn't give two shits. So it becomes a really big issue. And only if pushed will those institutions or other aspects of government or businesses or whoever, only when pushed will they actually do something. And only I mean, it's like pulling teeth. So people with disabilities, it just grinds my gears, no end. Anyway, let's see. I tend to block people for longer when a stranger boohoos and no reason for. Yeah, I need to do that. I hadn't done that. I put them on silent. I was just done. I wasn't listening. And actually, quite honestly, I forgot about them because they weren't pestering me. Now they're starting to pester me and do the boohoo and the broken heart symbols and lots of, and I'm like, I haven't even, no. People are technically violating it by allowing people like me to walk into a place or business without sanitary precaution. Yeah, since the yeah. Yeah, and Christopher says block them. Yeah, I need to. I usually do. Once they start certain behaviors, I usually do. I just haven't done it. And I just noticed it today. Well, not noticed. It came up in my not my Facebook feed, my Facebook Messenger. So yeah, they're gonna get blocked later tonight when I go to deal with it. Because today has been a whole another subject in just trying to get me situated for today. So, oh, haircut driving me nuts. Desperately need a haircut right now. Ugh. All right. I'm not repeating that, Christopher. People can see that in 2 days' time when YouTube decides to post the chat. It's something like 14 hours is, at least that's what I've noticed. YouTube, once you get done with a live and it's fully out there and you haven't had any hits or whatever they call them, check marks or whatever on your YouTube channel, they'll post the chat. And so it's somewhere between 12 and 24 hours. I think it's along the lines of 14 to 16 hours that they post the actual chat so people can actually go back in and look at the chat. So every half hour, take a drink of water. This is what I said yesterday. I'm having to do it now. I need to show by example what I say, what I speak. I didn't do that Monday. And the consequences was I was severely dehydrated, so dehydrated that my hands, the top of my hands cracked, and so dehydrated that my lips, they were like on fire. That hurt. And the only thing when things get that bad is using a product. Whoops, there goes my phone. Using a product that I dearly love. It's I'm gonna show it here because I've got one sitting here. I don't know if you can see this. Mary Kay's Satin Hands. It's a skin protecting stuff, and I'm not one who usually uses certain things because I love the organics, but this, because this does have mineral oil in it, and I'm like, ah. However, I am here to tell you, and it's a 3-part system. I don't have the regular green bottle. This was a this is the Nourishing Shea cream, but anyway, and then you put this on after it, and anyway, but it's a 3-part system. I know I'm promoting, but whatever. I love this stuff. When my hands get bad, like really bad, really, really bad, like if it's an allergy, oh my God, there's certain food allergies that I've got. They'll split the tops of my skin. I'm not joking. Other things, my whole body will itch, but there's this one, and these things are the only ones that work. And it's a 3-part system, and for hands, and technically you use this one, the skin softener, wait a little bit, and then use the hand wash, special hand wash, and then put the satin hands on, and there you go. Well, not with me. I got to do this thing first. and stick with it for a few days before I can start the three-part process. Anyway, I use this for my lips when it gets really bad because it stops because nothing has worked. So there's a little piece of FYI, and you'll get that with me with a lot of different things. I'll give a lot of different product pieces of information. Here's one. I've got my vitamin box sitting next to me, so I'm going to have a little chat about certain herbs, and hopefully I don't get knocked on my account for this, but we will see. Okay, where is this going to go? You're going to go right there. Okay. Do your own research. No joke. Look into Berberine. Do your own research. Look into Berberine. I'm not going to tell you what it's for. Do your own research. Because if I start talking about what it's for, that's when everybody gets nailed on their accounts. Look into, and I don't care if you like the taste of these things or not. This has nothing to do with taste. These are all in pill form. There's a bunch of these that are in tincture form. Do your own research. Talk to professionals. This is the one I use when my stomach starts getting upset. Now, I know some people are going to throw a shit brick over the fact that it's a certain company. I don't care. This for me is a good company regarding certain products. So Slippery Elm. I've been doing Slippery Elm stuff since 1993? No. 3, 4, or 5. 1993, 1994, 1995, somewhere in there. So like I said, do your own research. Here's another one. Hey, Robert, look into Goldenseal. Look into how Goldenseal and Berberine are similar. Look into how they're similar. So anyway, do your research. There's a few others, but I'm not going to pull any of them out. Although I will say look into ginger as well. Anyway, on that note, what was I going to say? There was a bunch of other things I was going to talk about. Energy-wise, be sure that you're grounding. Yeah, look into goat's rue too. There are certain things, Berberine, goat's rue, Goldenseal. Look into similarities and not similarities regarding them. But anyway, regarding energy work, make sure that when you're doing any kind of energy work, that you're clearing yourself afterwards. That's something that I didn't talk about with somebody recently, and I should have, but there was so much going on. Make sure that you actually clear your own energy after working with somebody, or after working with, I'm going to turn that down. Let's see if I can do that. No, other way. Oh, turned it off. Didn't want it off. There we go. Woo. Let's see. I'm trying to figure this out, folks. Okay, well, it's still on, but it's not as intense. If I do this. Oh, hey, there we go. That might work better. Haha. Okay, so I don't have burning light on me. Anyway, clear yourself. Clear your energy. Important things to do. if you don't, that was the other thing I wanted to talk about. If you do not know how to ground and center, there are so many things. No, I don't, Christopher. He's asking if I take Japonica. No, I don't. There's so many other free methods of teaching how to ground, how to center yourself. You have to find what works for you. Everybody is unique and individualized. Remember that. It is crucial, because just because I or anybody else says, oh, you've got to do it this way and it's got to be BS, I call BS on that. That's a load of crap. Everybody is unique. Everyone is individualized. You learn at a different rate than somebody else. So if you're in a meditation class and they're only teaching a specific way and it's not jiving with you, find a different way. Doesn't mean that it's not, it's how you learn. You're learning in a different rate. Other people may pick up how that specific group is teaching, being taught, but you're not picking it up. Find a different method. That it's that simple. Find a different method. It's not you're being, oh, I'm being dumb, I'm being this, no. You have a different method of learning. Find what works for you. Figure it out. If you don't know your learning style, read about learning styles. This is a process. You have to take an avid, keep getting the word integral. You have to take an active time frame to, time frame is not the word. I'm not putting my words out right now. Ugh! You have to figure out what works for you. If you don't know what your learning style is, start reading about learning styles. Find out how many there are. Figure out which one is you. And then figure out, okay, this is what I now need to go from that into this. This is how I learn. Then find somebody that teaches how you learn. And if you don't know, then go from the free classes to the free classes until you find something that will teach you. Because otherwise, all you're going to be doing is spending money after hard-earned money after money after money after money after money, and you're not getting anywhere. And you're going to get frustrated. And you're going to go, well, F that. That's going out the window. I don't want anything more to do with this. Well, that's because you got to find your learning style and what works for you. Everybody has a different learning style. We're not all the same. I was about to use the word clones. We are not clones in mimicry and that kind of thing. Many people are similar. They're not all alike. And that's where teaching and schooling and education gets very frustrating with many people, where they've got their kids in different things. Got a drink. Anyway, find what works for you. I'm not going to ask for permission. I'm just going to use this as an example. Someone I know, and I did this too. So this is not me really calling them out. This is me using them as an example. Hey, Drew. Welcome. Glad to see you on here. Yeah, Robert says, not all cast from the same mold. Exactly. So basically, here's the conundrum. Find what works for you, but find your learning style, because that's the key to everything. You have to know what really works for you. Just because something sounds good and somebody else is putting out information and it all sounds great, does it work for you? If it doesn't, move on. Find something that does in that field. Excuse me. And work it out. Find those things that do work for you properly. Find it and hold on to it. Learn what you can from it, and then use the techniques that are provided, or however they're teaching. And if it makes sense to your brain, hi, whoever else came in. I appreciate you coming in. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm not used to doing that. That's going to take me a while to get used to that. Anyway, but find something that works for you regarding energy work, regarding how you want to go about. Heck, it doesn't even have to be energy work. This could be any subject that you're wanting to look into. If you aren't finding how somebody is teaching that is working how you learn, start asking questions. Well, this is how I understand this, but I can't put this into practice because of blah. I need help with blah. Well, maybe this is, and they might come back. If they're a professional, they might come back, and I've seen this happen with people. Then this isn't the class for you. Well, that might be, the subject is the class for you, but the method of teaching might not be be their way of teaching, and you might not be able to deal with it. So find a different teacher. No joke. Find what works for you, folks. This is a big deal. And people, I've seen more people get really upset and frustrated that I can't do this. Why am I not able? Why can't I get out beyond doing da da da? Well, hello. Find something in a way that jives with how you think, jives with how you work, how your brain functions, how you learn. It all comes down to learning, how you learn. Maybe that's what I should title this, how you learn. Anyway, figure out what works for you and go with it. Because if you're at a subject that you really want to learn from, what's going to stop you? Seriously, what are you going to allow the way you learn to stop you? Are you going to allow somebody that tells you, well, this isn't the class for you? Bullshit, BS. Bullpuckies. Find a different teacher. Use the same subject, but find a different teacher. Find how you can learn. And if you're in a college class, that's a whole different subject. Do you have a like an education plan? Because they do have them in college now. They didn't when I was going to college, but they do have them now for some folks. If you've got documentation that you had an IEP in high school, or even if you're somebody in your 40s and you want to go back, 40s, 50s, 60s, and you want to go back to college, you might have to go through some testing to get the extra things that you need in your class for college because of how you learn. So don't let anybody or anything stop you from what you want to go for. Figure out how you learn. I know I'm harping on this. I get that. And I understand that it's a big deal for some folks. But if you've really been struggling with this, and I know I've known people that have said to me and others, I want to learn to do Astral. How come I can't get out of my body and do Astral? Well, there's a process. For you, some people, it's just super simple. Other people, it takes a different form of learning. It takes time. You have to figure out, it goes right back to the same thing. Sorry, guys, my lips are really dry again. It goes right. Oh, there we go. Oh. It goes right back in the same situation. Figure out a different method. If you're not able to do it, and then the other thing is regarding Astral, what's stopping you? Are you stopping you? Even if you say you're not stopping you, there's something about it that is, that you are, that it's usually, not always, don't quote me on this, but it can be something, even a minor fear that you have that can stop you, prevent you from going into astral. It can be something so minute that you never would have thought of. And I've had people tell me, I have tried for years and years and I still can't get out and go do astral. Well, and they've talked about all the different methods that they've tried. They've talked about all the different teachings that they've tried. Then I would start to question, then it's a timing factor. There's something about it that has to do with timing. The timing isn't right. There's something about, I'm losing the train of thought here, but there's something about the timing. The other side, what I've learned is that there are things to do with timing. As much as I hate saying that, because it really irritates the shit out of me, it's true. Ask most psychics and they'll tell you, yeah, sometimes there is a real conundrum with, sorry, I'm trying to get some more stuff out of this bottle. Put stuff on my knuckles and one finger because I still have that one split on my finger. There are situations to where it's a timing factor regarding astral. So you can learn via numerous different methods and you're still not able to get out and to go into astral, then I would start asking the other side, saying, hey, is this really a timing factor? Why am I not able to do this? What is it that you've got me waiting for? And sometimes that anger can also keep you in your body. So be aware of that. That's the other side to this, is our emotions. Humans, what I've learned between the numerous different races of ETs and us humans, we are very emotional and some ETs cannot handle emotion. Big time. I had no idea how big of a deal that was until I honestly did not know how big of a deal that was until like this past year. Whole huge conundrum with certain ETs. So our human emotions make us extremely unique, but at the same time, they can cause us to stay stuck. So be aware of that. Be aware of how psychological things can affect a body going into or out of whatever subject you're trying to go into and out of. Trying to think of other things. So it's not just, it's also our emotions play a part of it. Our psychological learning plays a part of it. I know people that are angry that stay with and can get out and do it. And yet I know people that are angry and can't. So but the ones that are angry and that can, what I've witnessed is that they typically have other things that they have worked really hard on and have learned from and have moved through. So I had help. I had somebody kind of yank me out. And mine was because I hadn't done it in such a long time. And I had tried. I hadn't I hadn't been trying diligently like I used to in my teenage years, and in my very early 20s. I used to be able to do it very, very easily. And I had a girlfriend who used to be able, in high school, she used to literally go out of body. And I knew when I described this to a counselor once in the 90s, they were like, well, she disassociated. And I'm like, no, she did not. There's a difference between disassociation and I called him out on it because I was like, no, this is not disassociation. I know what disassociation is very well from certain things in my childhood. So this was not disassociation. Um, but she was literally able to go up and out of her body, still being fully connected to her body and walking through. That was one of the ways that she used to talk about. She used to tell me that she'd get through the hallways because the hallways were so packed at times, just trying to get to different classrooms, and it would drive her nuts. And I didn't blame her. I mean, it used to drive me nuts too. So, she'd just go out of body and not very far above, and just see where she could, and she'd go, okay, there we go. It's like Tetris. It's like the old oh, squeaky, it's like the old game Tetris, and you just go choo 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 choo, figure it out. So it's the same way with this. Anyway, anybody got any questions? We're down to one person watching. We were up to 4, or 5. 4. Anyway, so the one person that's watching, do you have any questions? Are you able to be in the chat? Anyway, it's almost it's about 3 minutes to 4 p.m. I think what I'm going to do is I'm either going to stay at 3:15 p.m. once a week, or I'm going to do 3:30 p.m. We'll see. I don't know if I'm just going to stick with an hour or if I'll go with an hour and a half. Anyhow. Oh, I'm being reminded. I'm being reminded about story time. So if you guys want to hear stories or me reading certain things, I will be glad to do that. If you want certain subjects, let me know. Hey, Christopher. Yeah, if you want certain subjects, let me know. I will put different subject matters and we'll. Hey, sweetie. We'll read stories or we'll do something. So, but I do have a lot of information. I just haven't sat down and wrote a lot of stuff out. So I think this is gonna be a mix mash. There are going to be days where I will have real specific subjects. But it's been requested that I do lives, no questions for me. Okay. It only shows that there's one person in chat. Well, that's interesting. So there's 2 of you here. Hey, Robert. Anyway. What else? Trying to think of other things. I will be I keep saying I will be talking about the book. And I will. I need to, because of a friend recently, I was able to remember much more detail about The timeline always goofed me up, and I went, wait a minute, and it's all definitely confirmed in my head now. Because I knew what the timeline was, but it was like, oh. So anyway, everything happened within a week and a half. And it was very frustrating to me so anyway, both Robert and Christopher say no questions here. So thank you for sticking with me. I don't know. There's something that's, yeah, I know where to reach you, says Christopher. We are going to be doing tonight on the S4 bunker, which is 10 p.m. Pacific, and it's on Spreaker. It's in my link at under description. Yes, under description. It gives the link to the show, and it gives the link for last week's show. This will be a part 2, and it will be talking about emergency paranormal services and experiences that Forest Moon Paranormal had when they were Forest Moon Paranormal. So they shut their doors after doing gosh, I can't remember how many years they were doing it. Anyway, excuse me. Anyway, so look into the show tonight. It'll be interesting. It's a panel show. I don't remember. Let's see. We've got Eric Cooper, Cole Wegleitner, Harmony. I'm sorry, Harmony. I don't remember your last name, sweetie. Harmony. We've got Joe. We've got Rick. And we've got Kayla Wegleitner, and I'm not sure if our Keith Andrews will be on. He might be. He's part of the panel sometimes. So sometimes he comes on when he's feeling good, and sometimes he doesn't if he's got to go to bed early. So anyway, in 27 minutes, our Keith Andrews will be on his channel. YouTube channel that's called Our Keith Andrews. And there, I believe, are a number of other shows going as well. Then there's SOR tonight, Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Hang on a second. Well, all kinds of things happen. And when my phone, yep. So I was getting a phone call. My phone had dropped a little bit ago and landed on the floor, and it was vibrating near my foot. So I was like, oh, okay. So, which is what happened yesterday. I got a phone call when I was online. Anyway, if you have any questions, there's a bunch of things. There's a bunch of things that can be talked about, but I will eventually be talking about the book. And I will be talking about why these, what I call government asshats, have consistently, periodically, but consistently for 4 years now, have been pestering the holy living out of me. And If this was something, if that book that I had read and gotten my hands on for about 15 hours, if that book was not a true government book, then why the hell are they pestering me? There's some questions for you right there. Why would a government agency that are really deep black ops psyops team, psychic operatives, why would they come after me the way they have in some very insidious, manipulative, mind rape scenarios? Why? I don't give two shits about that book on one hand, but on another hand, that is a book that the public needs to know about. They really do. And I have always said there is one chapter in there I will never freaking reveal, ever. And I make no bones about that. But I have also said there's 1 to 3 chapters, but there's one that will not ever utter from my mouth. I will never talk about it. The asshat that I asked a question of, it's because of him. It's because of him that I have had this. He obviously gave my name and what I said to him in basic questions about the book and over to somebody who it went down a line, and 4 to 5 days later I got nailed. I mean, we are talking hardcore, no doubt about it, nailed by a team of government agents psychically. And if this book is not such a big deal, why would they come after me? Why? So, and why would I have government psyops in astral form in my home that have been witnessed by other psychics in astral in my home who helped to protect me? So, yeah, I will be talking about this book. I will give you a full timeline. I have it written up. I want more details of it written up, but I'm not going to be giving people's names. I am going to be giving, I'm trying to figure out how to word this specifically so that certain individuals do not get nailed. And so that certain individuals, no matter whether I like them or not, and I don't believe one of them is alive anymore, the one that I really, really seriously dislike. But it's made, if you have no understanding of what this is about, you'll eventually find out, and you'll eventually find out just how serious this is. And no, I have not signed an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. I've not signed. I signed one for my mom medically. That is the only thing I've ever signed that was a no, I take it back. I take it back. I've signed 2. I signed one when I was working for a 24-hour photography lab, and I signed another one, and that was in the 90s or 80s. And then I signed one for my mother medically when the big C word hit, CV hit, and there were certain things. So, but I will never, ever, no. I've never signed anything regarding this book. I've never signed nothing. So I will be talking about it. And it's not the only book out there. I know that. There are a number of copies out there. I've said that. I've said that live, publicly, a number of times. And if they haven't caught that, then they aren't paying attention. That's their fault. That's on them. But the funny thing is that they were paying attention. So I know they do know it. But certain parts of their organization may not know it because it may not have been told to them. Anyway, enough about that damn book. Do your research on herbs. There's all kinds of herbs that can help people. Do your research on medical stuff. Talk to people. Be an advocate for yourself. Figure out how you learn. Go from there. Do what you need to do in what you want to do in your life. If you want to be an energy worker and you want to do Reiki, find a way that works for you, that teaches you how you learn, how you understand. Don't let anybody stop you. On that note, I've talked a lot longer than I had anticipated. We're doing 56 minutes, almost 57 minutes. So take good care, guys. Be good to yourselves. Have a lot of fun. Get into a little mischief every once in a while. I will see you next week. You'll probably, well, I know you will. You'll hear me on the show tonight on the S. It's, okay, I'm going to do this backwards. S dash, let's see, 4. Hopefully, I don't know. It looks backwards to me on this. So it's S dash 4 bunker on Spreaker.com. So anyway, I'll post it. It's posted all over the different places. So how you can contact me if you do want to talk about certain things with me, you can contact me at Restore Belief, BELIEF 2022 at gmail.com. I can be also reached on Facebook, Nikki, Nikki dot Jacobs, JACOBS dot 376. I also have a personal blog page, psychic medium blog page, that's part of my Facebook page, and just message me in private messenger. I'm super fussy about who I have on my Facebook page, my regular Facebook page, for very good reasons. So do not be offended if it's just I have to get to know you. I mean, like, really get to know you before I let somebody on. So, and I'm under 200 people on my Facebook page. So just an FYI, I keep it that way deliberately. Anyway, take good care of yourselves. And I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or if you're in Australia, have a good morning and day. Take good care of yourself. Bye, guys.